Yo, what's going on guys? HyperX here. Welcome back to another video for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. And in this one, I want to talk some more about the demo and more specifically about the hunting horn. Of course, we've been going through so far testing a variety of different weapons, trying to sort of focus on the ones that have had the most noteworthy changes, or at least have the most substantial things to test out in the demo, some sort of more so than others. But the hunting horn is definitely one to pay attention to. Admittedly, probably less so for the Silkbind, more specifically just for the song selection. But regardless, I want to talk about hunting horn because it is pretty awesome. So if you guys do enjoy this, a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below, let me know if you guys have tested out the hunting horn, how are you getting on with it, what do you think of it, and of course don't forget to keep it locked for plenty more Sunbreak. So to begin with, of course, as of the preview, we got to look at two new moves. We got the swing combo, which unfortunately is not in the demo. They only have one move for you to test out, but we do of course have, at least from the preview video, the one that is the most interesting, and that is the Silkbind Shockwave move. This is a Silkbind attack that wraps your weapon in iron silk, and for a short period of time, any attack performed causes the silk to vibrate, creating a time-delayed shockwave that triggers additional hits. Now this, in action, is actually pretty useful. Already, the hunting horn is a fantastic KO weapon. It already has fantastic KO potential. You hit hard, you do a ton of impact damage, and when you factor in that nice new breakdance move, it is just a recipe for KO. So having additional moves that do major stun, exhaust, and part damage is just fantastic. I haven't necessarily done a side-by-side comparison to work out sort of just how fast you'll KO. That's a lot easier to do in, say, the training room when I get access to the full game, but I will say, from my time testing, it is definitely a nice addition. It's basically just like a flat stun buff. Don't think of it necessarily as a damage buff per se, think of it more so as just like a quicker way to get to the end result, which is knocking the monster out and then dealing a bunch of damage. Buff-wise, it lasts for a decent amount of time, and of course you can then switch to it and then swap back to something else. So for example, the kind of default setup in the demo has you apply this on, say, the blue scroll, and you swap back to the red scroll, and you then have access to things like Earthshaker, which of course is quite nice. But this, as a move, definitely a great addition to the arsenal. Maybe not as flashy as some of the other moves, might not necessarily wow you in the same regard, but don't sleep on it. It is definitely going to become one of those moves that you should just kind of maintain as sort of almost permanent uptime. It has a sort of medium recharge rate, so while it's not necessarily super quick, given that of course this buff lasts a little while, by the time it runs out you will be ready to reapply it. So it should go without saying that moving forward in Sunbreak, this is probably going to become one of those sort of must-have moves that you want to sort of maintain as much as possible, so you can just maximize your stun and your potential against monsters. However, outside of that, of course, the other thing worth focusing on, there are of course going to be some sort of balancing changes to the other moves, but I said in a previous video, I want to largely speaking focus on that when the full game comes out, because they have said these are demo numbers and some of the damage values are subject to change. So when it comes to talking about the actual changes for some of the other moves, I'm going to focus on that in the full game. But let's talk about this song list, because this is what is driving everyone crazy. Or not really crazy, everyone's losing their mind over it. That's probably a better way to describe it. This has three very cool songs: Sharpness, Regeneration, Stamina Use Reduced, and Attack Up. The bottom two are of course fantastic. Quite whether this is the actual song list for the Garangle Horn, or whether of course this is just a song list for the demo and it will change, will of course remain to be seen, because Sharpness, Regeneration, and Attack Up is quite a potent combination. However, Sharpness Regen specifically is a game changer. This, as is in the name, regens your sharpness, and when I tell you that we ran this as a team hunt, I was running Hunting Horn, everyone else was running other weapons, nobody needed to use a whetstone, ever. We ran through, we hunted through Actosom, Rathalos, Astalos. At no point, even when someone was running a Gun Lance, I switched over, had one of the team run with this, and I ran Gun Lance, which notoriously rips through sharpness. I am someone that likes to play the full burst playstyle, so of course unloading all those shells is a recipe for ripping through sharpness, and I never needed to sharpen. There was one point where I was waiting for the song to be refreshed, and then of course I did dip down into green sharpness, but if your Hunting Horn users maintain this uptime, which of course is incredibly easy given the new way you can use the Hunting Horn, just continually pressing X, this is basically going to give people so much more potential. I'll be very interested to sort of see how this fares with, say, weapons that have a slither of white sharpness, or of course in Sunbreak, purple sharpness. So of course, maybe if you use this, will it make those slithers go further? I mean, obviously yes, it will, but will it be at the point whereby if you have a slither, you will never need to sharpen? Or of course, will you need a certain chunk as a buffer? Because this doesn't stop your sharpness from going down, it just regenerates it typically faster than it will deplete. So it is 100% a fantastic song. Hunting Horn users are already great, but I can see a lot of people definitely wanting them on their team when it comes to Sunbreak, because Sharpness Regen is a game changer. If you guys don't want to sharpen ever again, either just run Hunting Horn or bring a Hunting Horn user on your team. Anyway, that's for the time being. Just a few little thoughts on the Hunting Horn. Haven't had a chance to go hands-on and test some stuff. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you found any other things that you think are noteworthy, definitely let us know about them. If you've missed some of our recent videos, you can check out one of these. And stay tuned for plenty more.